that time. So I will call our meeting to order. And I would entertain a motion for the open agenda if there are no additions.
I move we approve the open agenda.
Do I have a second?
Aaron will second.
So I have a motion and a second, a motion from Nick and a second from Aaron. All those in favor? We may have to do a roll
Yes.
call.
Yes.
Yes.
Not yet.
They're not.
All righty. Any opposition? Since we've heard from them. All righty. Then I would also entertain a motion to approve the open session minutes of September the 27th and the 30th.
I will make a motion to approve those minutes.
I have a motion from Aaron. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and then a second from Travis. All those in favor, and let's do a roll call just because we have two of our members on Zoom tonight. Aaron,
Yes.
Travis,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
all right. Then I would also entertain a motion to approve the closed session agenda pursuant to Missouri Sunshine Law 610.021.
So moved.
I have a motion from Nick. Do I have a second?
Aaron will second.
So I have a motion from Nick and a second from Aaron. So if I could have a roll call vote on that. Nick,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
and Travis,
Yes.
thank you. And did we have any public comment?
No, I didn't receive it.
Okay. All right, good. All right, at that point, we then should be able to move on into new business. And our first new business will be, we have 2 board vacancies to fill. And we will do that at this time, and those districts would be for District 3 and for District 5. So at this time, I would entertain motions to fill those positions. We have, for those positions, we have, do you want me to explain how that works?
I think you should, not everybody.
Because we do have some community members here that might like to understand how that works when we have resignations. The way that works when we have to fill positions for district, the board appoints someone that's willing to serve, and those appointees will serve, and if they do want to serve the remainder of that person's, if I say this wrong, Brenda, correct me, they may file in December to be placed on the ballot then the following April. And then they may run to fill the remainder of those candidates' terms. So I believe I have said that correctly.
And if no one files to run against them for that particular district, there's they're automatically, there is no election needed for
Right.
that one. They're just.
If they run
automatically-
unopposed.
Mhm.
So then I have District 1 will be 4 years, 3 will be 6, 5, District 5 will be 2 years, and District 6 will be 3 years, based on when their elections.
So District 3, our candidate is
Jesse.
Jesse Zysett. Now, did I say that correctly?
You got it.
Oh my
Perfect.
gosh, very good. Okay, so Jesse Zysett would be our candidate for District 3.
5, sorry.
5,
Yep,
okay, and District 3
Christine
would be
Musgrave.
Christine Musgrove. So those are our 2 appointed candidates to fill those terms. Okay? So we appreciate their willingness to help on the hospital board. And at this time, I would entertain a motion by the board for those 2 candidates.
That we-
Aaron will make a motion to accept candidates for 3 and 5.
I'll second.
So I have a motion from Aaron, and I have a second from Nick. If I could do a roll call vote there.
Yes.
Nick says yes, Aaron made the
Ye-
motion,
Yes.
and Travis.
Yes.
All right, and those are the wishes of the board. So at this time, I would like if our 2 candidates would stand, and I will administer the oath of office. And we're gonna have you just say it together. Is that all right? If you raise your right hand, please. I'll start with your names individually, you can repeat after me, and then we'll say the rest together. Is that all right? I, Christine Musgrove,
I, Christine Musgrove,
I, Jesse Zysett,
I, Jesse Zysett,
solemnly affirm,
solemnly affirm
and I'll say it and you repeat after me, that I will uphold,
that I will uphold
that I will uphold
the rest of it you can say together after me, the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the laws of the state of Missouri,
and the laws of the state of Missouri,
and will faithfully
and will faithfully
demean myself
demean myself
in the positions of directors
in the positions of directors
of District 3 and 5
of District 3 and 5,
and members of the Scotland County
and members of the Scotland County
Memorial Hospital
Memorial Hospital
District Board of Trustees.
District Board of Trustees.
And we welcome you both.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, at this time, we also, need to reorganize our board. We need to elect a vice chair, secretary, and treasurer at this time. So do I have any wishes of the board at this time? I don't? No, I don't. I don't make motions.
You might do vice chairman first, or then ask for
We can do them separately, or if so, whichever way you want to do it. At this time, do I have any nominations from the board for vice chair?
I nominate Nick.
So I have a nomination from the board for Nick Hatfield for vice chair.
I'll
Do-
second the motion.
Aaron will second that.
Well, I had a second first from Christine Musgrove. So we have a motion and a second. And I think we will again do roll call because I know they probably can't see us all. So let's just go with Aaron,
Yes.
Travis,
Yes.
and Christine,
Yes.
and Jesse,
Yes.
and Nick.
Sure.
All right. So let's move on then to secretary. Do I have any nominations from the board for the position of secretary?
I nominate Christine.
I have a nomination for Christine for secretary.
Might as well jump in there.
I don't know, we can,
I guess you can always decline, but you'll do fine.
I'll second.
That was
Travis.
Travis. So I have a motion and a second for Christine for secretary. So we'll do a roll call. Any discussion?
I'm sure if I need help, I'll have help.
Okay,
Yep.
all right. Aaron,
Yes.
Travis,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Jesse,
Yes.
and Christine.
Yes.
I'm sure they'll be more than willing to help if you need to, if you have questions. And for treasurer, do I have any nominations?
I nominate Aaron Holt.
I second it.
I have a nomination and a second.
Easy now.
Any discussion?
I think he's very qualified.
All right.
I think it's an important job, and I think he's very qualified.
All right,
I second.
so we have a motion, we have a second.
Yes.
Nick says yes, Travis,
Yes.
and Jesse,
Yes.
and Christine,
Yes.
and Aaron.
Yeah, I guess.
All right. So those are the nominations and appointments by the board. We thank you for your willingness to serve. All right. Then we move on to committees. We do have some empty spots in some of the committees that are open due to the resignations of the former board members. So, executive committee is usually the chair and vice chair. Sits on those committees, quality and safety.
Two board members from, our bylaws state that 2 members of the board will be on those, on that committee. You are already on it, so we need 1 more board member to be added to the quality and safety committee.
Okay, quality and safety has been meeting during the day. So I realize that some of our board meets, works out of town. So if that's going to continue to be a meeting held during the day, that may be a problem for some. So that will be a factor. Is that going to be continue to be as
It'll still be a daytime
a
meeting.
daytime meeting?
What day, I'm not sure yet.
Right.
but that was to be-
So that has to be a consideration for the quality. So I don't know if that's something that Christine, would you be
I
interested in?
did say I'm available, I'm retired, and I could come to a day meeting.
Okay,
That-
that's once a
that-
month, so.
And that's one our vice chair was on before, so there you go.
She's the secretary.
I know she is, but our vice chair
Yeah.
was on before, and that she could come in and
Yeah.
with her schedule, so, if that works for you.
Are you
That-
okay on it still too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's move on to disaster, and I'm not sure who's on it currently or who's, we just wanna make sure we have enough people that are supposed to be on each
Yeah.
committee.
Disaster
Do we have that?
That was
is,
Joan.
well, disaster right now was Mr. Rupert and Mrs. Lloyd, so we need two.
We need two.
And this isn't a this is more a quarterly
Quarterly.
meeting.
Yeah.
Quarterly meeting. Is that an evening meeting usually?
I don't think it doesn't have a set time, so we could make that work each quarter for.
Quarterly, surely somebody can make it work, what it's after.
We
Right.
can do evening.
No, but if you don't want to take it, I would say.
Would you be willing to do that one?
Yeah.
Would you do that one? Let's
Okay.
have Jesse serve on disaster.
And one's enough for that one.
Do we have two?
Well, we
You
did,
too.
but you don't have to. I mean, the bylaws doesn't state two, so.
Okay,
I'm just going by the other
Right.
folder, so why they chose to.
okay. Moving on to the finance committee.
So we need to, move the committee chair to be Aaron as treasurer of the board,
Right.
and then one other board member.
On what?
Travis is already on it, actually,
Well,
I was gonna say, I think I'm on that one.
so we just need to have Aaron be added as the chair.
you can actually nip it in around it.
I could move to disaster and let Aaron take my spot on the finance committee.
We did two on disaster.
That'd be fun.
That would be good. Okay, and that fills the spot, correct? All right. All right. Then moving on into our bond. Dr. Lee, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so that is in our bylaws, and we just need a board approval for our current chiefs to, remain current with our current insurance coverage. So we don't have to add to it, we just need a motion from the board to be for our current chiefs to be approved on that insurance.
Okay. Could you all hear that are zooming in?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so we need a motion for that so that we are current, the current chiefs.
Also moved.
Okay, so we have a motion from Christine
I'll second.
and a second from Nick. Could we do a roll call vote on that, please? Aaron,
Yes.
Travis,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
and Jesse,
Yes.
and Christine.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, moving on to foundation.
This is just informational, the foundation, and you should have a copy of the bylaws in your bylaw packet here. Removal of previous directors, which included Dr. Tobler, Joni Lloyd, and Michael Brandon, or you will stay as a present director of the foundation. And then the new current directors, according to the bylaws, will be the CEO, the chair, and the vice chair. The committees will be, or the committee of the foundation will be presented as CEO, COO, and CFO. And then the officers will be the president, chairman, vice chairman, and secretary treasurer of the Scotland County Hospital Foundation Board of Directors. And those names will be removed. Dr. Tobler as president, Joni as vice chair, and Michael Brandon as treasurer. and replaced by the current staff and board. And then section G is Scotland County Community Health Development Services. Again, this is just informational. We will have removal of the previous board of directors. And recognize the new directors per the Scotland County Community Health Development Services bylaws, the president, the chair, and then the vice chair. Section 2 there, removal of previous committee, and these will be all things we do in the pharmacy meeting. We'll appoint new committee members and remove previous officers and appoint new officers. So there's directors and there's officers. There's 2 different lineups there, and then we'll discuss the funding, the $157,500 that the hospital paid for the pharmacy. We will discuss that funding to go back to the hospital. And then we will change our annual board resolution for the pharmacy. We had, in the bylaws, it's set that there's an annual meeting in May. We thought it might be good to change it to June before the closing of the fiscal year. So in the bylaws, that will change to the 4th Tuesday in June at 5 o'clock will be that annual meeting. So that was all just informational there.
Yeah.
My report.
Okay.
Okay. All right, first on my report is update for the Scotland County Care Center. We met with the board of directors for Scotland County Care Center, and they are wanting to reopen the nursing home in some sort of fashion, and they're looking for some help, specifically with management of their care center. And myself, Megan, and Akeem have been going to these board meetings and trying to help out however we can. At their last board meeting, they voted to ask the hospital if we would help them manage it. So I said that I would bring it to our board of directors and propose that we come up with some sort of management agreement to help out the care center to get it back up and going. So I guess what I'm proposing is looking into some sort of management agreement. I would think we would need some sort of contract, but is that something that the board is open to looking at?
Can you define what you mean by management, like what would it entail?
So my thoughts on it are, between myself and Megan and Akeem, we would be helping to look at the logistics of hiring personnel, taking care of finance, providing any sort of support. They're still their own entity. We would just take care of all management and operational type things to I guess.
Do you have input on that?
Sorry.
Well, once I see the books.
But
What,
day-to-day operations and, I'm sorry, Travis.
I guess I've got a little concern of, I feel like we've got enough fires going on that taking on another one right now till we've got our home on a solid foundation. I don't know if I want to take on a whole lot more work.
Yeah, I think right now the opening is just, they're gonna open in a very small capacity with a few RCF rooms and assisted living rooms. We actually have 2 of their board members here. Do I state that wrong? The initial opening is gonna be small and we'll work from there.
Yes. That was my question, on what capacity.
Yeah, it's just gonna be assisted living and RCF.
Bill apologized. Our board president had a previous family something going on and he was not able to come, but he did want me to apologize for that. But what we had voted on there is to try to open up as an RCF, which would not require us to, or was it, oh gosh, assisted living?
It was
It was the
RCF.
assisted living, so we would not be required to have an administrator. We would have a med tech.
It'd be RCF.
It is,
Yeah, yeah, they don't require a licensed administrator.
right. So that's what we were considering,
Yeah, that's the initial move there.
right.
And in that classification, do you have to have like an RN there?
You do
We
not.
have to have a, well,
Level 1 medication aid.
a level 1 medication.
So there does not have to be an RN present
Mhm.
in the facility.
No licensed nurse needed, but
Right.
It's handy to have the hospital in our backyard and for us to be in your backyard.
I was thinking how the benefits.
well, and we would just begin by using the RCF. So if we could work, I know you guys are
Right.
kind of confined right now, probably needing some room possibly. Maybe we can work together.
I guess to
We're
answer
already
your,
using the kitchen facility, so.
Right.
I think it's just important for the community that we both, the care center and the hospital work together to serve our community better. I really think this community needs a care center as well as a hospital, and I think we can really benefit each other.
And we know that you guys do have a lot on your plate and you're working on things. So we felt like, wow, if we could start small and then work towards that common goal of possibly going back to a skilled facility. But if we could all work together and it just wasn't, you know.
But to answer your question, Jesse, my idea was not to take on extra pay at this time, but more of to utilize the benefits that the nursing home could provide the hospital. My biggest thought is space. We're getting a little low on space in the hospital, and the care center has quite a bit of space that we could really benefit from. And I think that would be our biggest gain for the hospital.
And we appreciate the fact that you all will entertain the idea. We're appreciative of just the entertainment of the idea, basically, to start out with too.
Maybe just a motion to look at a contract for a management agreement.
To consider, you know.
Yeah. Be nice to have something written out and a little more structured that I can present to you all.
I would be happy to make a motion that Mr. Terry.
Oh God, don't call me mister.
Continue to discussions for the possibility. Where's that exactly? Discussion.
This one, the motion is just to enter into discussions for a possible contract.
Yes.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to explore those possibilities and, you know, the possibilities of working together for something mutually between the two. Okay? So, any further discussion? Then let's, have a vote on that, please. Aaron,
Yes.
Travis,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
and Christine, and Jesse. Okay, and that motion carries. So, I think we get together and we definitely explore what we can come up with contractually that's beneficial for,
I'll put a business plan together.
yes.
I'd like to have a meeting with you sometime too, with those hospital nursing homes connected that I've found in Missouri. I'd be happy to call them, I just don't even know what to ask or
Yeah.
how to approach it, so.
Yes, we appreciate you being here tonight to discuss it, so thank you for that. All right.
I did have a couple more things on my
Yes.
report.
Keep going.
The next is we're looking at possible, different possible options for anesthesia coverage. Right now, we just have one CRNA that gives us most of our coverage, and that's a lot for one person when you're on call 24/7. So we're looking at different options. I was gonna give you some more numbers, maybe an executive session on some of those different possibilities, but one big option that we've been looking at is Moberly Anesthesia Group, possibly taking them on 1 week per month for additional coverage to kind of help Dennis out a little bit. But I'll get into that a little bit more later. And then another big item that I've been looking at is bringing on a neurologist here at the hospital. There was a neurologist, Dr. Khan. He works for Premier Specialty Network, and he has been here at the hospital before. He stopped coming here when COVID hit. But I've been kind of looking at bringing him back on right now with the numbers that I've been looking at and what he needs for compensation. I'm not totally there yet, but I just wanted that to be on everyone's radar because that's something that I've been looking pretty closely at. I think the community really could use a neurologist. We have quite a few referrals from our primary care doctors and our orthopedic surgeon that go out every month to different neurologists, and it would be nice to have someone close here in Memphis that our community can see. So I will try. I'm trying to make it work. Right now, I don't have the numbers to make it work, but that's something that I'm really trying to do, and I want that to be on everyone's mind so that when I come to the board and have a good proposal for you all, then you kind of know where I'm at. And then the last item I wanted to talk about is our Wauconda Medical Services Clinic in Wauconda. We have some different things out there that we need to get replaced. The HVAC needs to be replaced. We have portable air conditioners down there running in the clinic. The roof probably needs to be replaced, get pretty old. I've run a lot of these past the city of Wauconda because we have an agreement with them on the building where they pay a certain portion of those pieces that need to be fixed. They are to the point where they can't really financially support that building anymore, and they have asked me to talk to the board about possibly gifting us that building. So I wanted to bring that up tonight to see if that's something that the hospital board is interested in doing, receiving that gift of the building.
Does the gift come with, some kind of a commitment, a 5-year commitment to Wauconda, anything like that?
Not that I know of. Their board meeting is tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, I believe, and I was gonna attend that. I just wanted to get the board's thoughts on that, if that's something we wanna pursue. Obviously, I need to get more details for everyone, but I won't know everything until tomorrow night. But I just kinda wanted to get a general idea of the board, if that's something we're interested in. I think it would be great for the hospital and the community to
And
have that building and continue offering services.
that clinic is continuing to get busier too. We're almost to where we need to offer a second day for a
Quite
provider.
a while, hasn't it? What are the pros and cons of it?
Well, I think we kind of need to know how much money it's going to take to
Innovate.
how much repair.
It'll be a little bit. It's, I think HVAC, we got a quote for about 10,000. The roof, probably another 25,000. But it's kind of just getting to the point where Wauconda can't support it anymore, and they would rather just gift it to us. In my opinion, it's financially better to continue to rent it from them. I believe we rent it for like $1 a year, but I think they're to the point where they just can't anymore. And so I think it's either going to fall apart, or we're gonna have to take it on and continue offering those services down here.
Well, one of the risks if we didn't take it is that they would opt not to let us provide services there.
Shut the building.
Close, right?
They would probably shut the building down, is just what I'm guessing is where they're headed.
What revenue does that bring in?
Pay all the utilities on it too already, don't we?
Revenue, what was was it for this past year? It actually was positive, which is kind of, you know, it's nice. You don't really see that a whole lot on the clinic side. Really, your biggest benefit is all the downstream revenue. You're pulling patients from that geographic area and getting them here to the hospital for all those, like I said, all that downstream revenue that comes from it, x-rays, physical therapy, all those ancillary departments. That's really where you're getting your biggest benefit.
We can get those numbers though.
And for what it takes to fix that up, there aren't any other buildings that would be better option.
No, but there is, I mean, I think we should probably take it on for now. There is some facility grant opportunities through USDA and that kind of thing. So that's probably something that we'll continue to look at and see if there's anything we can do. It wouldn't take a very big building to put up there.
Well, at the very least, if the land comes with it too, I mean, if the building's not salvageable, at least you have a nice plot of land there that you can do things with too. But I think it's worth looking into. I mean, that's one of our communities that we serve, and you know, I think it would be a huge injustice if we didn't at least look into that.
I definitely think you need to attend the board meeting.
Mm.
See, you know,
What they're looking at.
what they're looking at.
Yeah.
First of all, you know, and I think we need to definitely look into the building itself and see just what repairs are needed too. You know, and is it better to put, I guess my thinking, and I can't speak for the board, is it better to look into that building and see about putting that much money in that building? Or would it be better to think of something else there? So I think all of those parameters, how much money do we actually bring in there? I think it is a growing opportunity there for us. I think all of those things need to be looked at thoroughly, you know, deciding just to jump. But I think we need all of our ducks in a row, is my thinking. I don't know about the board. What are some other thoughts from the board?
I mean, if you think about it, it's really, somebody's going to give you the land, why would you turn it down? Right?
That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah,
It'd be nice, I think it would be nice to continue our
yeah.
arrangement that we have. I think that would be better if we could just continue the way we've been
It
going.
doesn't sound like that's.
But it doesn't
yeah.
sound like that's an option at this
Mhm.
point.
I think we definitely need to know from the board meeting what they're going to do.
And I can report back on that as soon as I hear tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we need to know
Okay.
for sure what they're thinking, and go from there.
We might need to look into what the taxes are on the property too, cause we'll start having to pay that too.
Just
I
kind
wouldn't
of,
assume that it'd be too terribly high on property.
A couple $100 or something like that.
but have all of our information together.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest part for me is if the land is included. I would assume it is, but
But we need to know that.
we need to know. The land, if the
Yeah.
land is included. I think that's the biggest factor for me at least.
Well, right, we need to know that. So if you could kind of get all that
Yep.
together.
Absolutely.
Find
I'm
out.
sitting here thinking, we're gonna try and pull the community together, get build a building, like, full volunteer help together, but that might be
Right.
a lot easier said than done.
Yeah. That would be great too.
I definitely, something I'd do, like, might be.
But that building's in pretty good shape other than the roof.
It's really not that great.
The building itself isn't?
No, it's pretty old.
Do you have to
It
go to
needs
Wacom
work.
anytime soon?
No.
And then there, I just remember it's small.
But is the land that it's on large enough to put something really large?
Yeah, I think it is, but I will get all those details.
We just need to.
Yeah.
This is a little off subject, but another idea that I think Ken had was the mobile service truck, kind of like the dental services go around to different towns. You know, like get a mobile service truck and put it in Wyconda Tuesdays and Thursdays and then move around to, you know, different towns. So that was just another idea that came on board.
So you don't have to worry about accessibility.
Yeah, yes.
You might have more money in a truck than you would a new building.
It's true. Especially one like the, have you seen that dental one? That thing's nice.
Actually. So, but if you can just gather all the facts there for us. I think that would be good. Okay. Get all your report
Yep,
finished.
that's it for me.
All right, well, thank you very much, but no, I agree, it's an opportunity that I think we need to look into because that continues to grow
Yeah.
here, and I think we need to, I think you definitely need to look into everything there. So, all right, thank you very much. All right. Then we are going back into old business. All right, do you want to speak to?
Well, the accounts payable, that was in the, you know, we deferred after the 27th. Our total accounts payable right now is sitting at $581,139, so we're working on paying the bills as we go, and, that's really the only information we have there. The organizational chart, that does need approved by you guys, if you wanna look at that. If you haven't, any questions on that? And I would like to keep CFO instead of Director of Finance. I would recommend that we keep that title there in that box. It's just more common and used in the hospital setting than Director of Finance. I know we kinda went back and forth on that, so.
The question I had, Mark, to ask you about.
Yeah, so I actually recommend keeping, CFO there.
One little question I had, wouldn't mind, but privacy, whether that should gonna give kind of view on both information technology and director of and CFO. Very last thing, I just say it.
What was your question?
Whether that should be kind of both, under both, information technology and
Oh, I see what you mean.
CFO.
I think, Lisa, I don't know if you can speak to this more than me, I think the reason it's under CFO and not under IT is IT, we listed more as like the actual operations of our equipment, more so than the protection of information.
But the information, the Director of Information Technology is over the HIPAA security electronically.
So maybe we.
So
put that
he
in
has
there.
his own role of HIPAA security on the electronic side, and then there's the paper in the building, those sort of, so it is kind of two different roles.
So maybe we do need to put that under both,
We can.
okay.
Any other questions about that organizational chart? Could they hear what she was saying? Aaron and Travis, could you hear what Christine was asking?
Yeah, I'm okay, I'm good.
Okay.
Same.
Okay. Any other questions anyone has? If not, we could make a motion to approve with that change. And with both changes.
I would move that we approve the
organizational chart.
Yeah, organizational chart with those two divisions.
Okay, we have a motion from Christine to approve the organizational chart with the recommended changes.
I'll sign it.
Here,
Okay, we have, I believe Nick made the second first, so if we could have a roll call vote. Aaron,
yes.
Travis,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Jesse,
Yes.
and Christine. All right, thank you. Okay, Dr. Weber, you wanna talk about the hospital bylaw revision?
Yeah, the first one, Article 3, Section 3.2. This is a discussion that you guys need to have. Rory, we kind of talked about, moving to a district at large and abolishing the district lines to have just one district instead of 6 different ones. Just, you can kind of speak on the difficulty. It's, a few of the districts have had trying to find people in those districts to serve. So a change to the bylaws, where we would delete the last sentence in that paragraph. You guys have the marked out version or not? Do they have the regular version?
They have the
So-
revision version, I think.
Okay,
I
so the
sent-
last,
I sent them the red line
okay,
over,
the last
email.
sentence, each elected director shall be a resident from a geographically designed area of the district, so as to have representation from all areas of the district. And then we would change that to be a district at large if that's something that you guys decide we want to do, and then the commission just has to vote on it. That's how that works. So, if you guys want to discuss the, I do have the, from the state website, if you guys do want that, where it says how those changes work for the district at large.
I think at a minimum, we need to have at least 2 districts. We need, one inside the town and one in the country, outside of town. I don't like the idea of being able to have all 6 board members living in Memphis and not have outside.
I mean, even going down to, I see what you mean. Even going to 3 and
Kind of think of
2 from each one.
maybe 4, 2 in town, 2 out of town, east and west.
And I mean, it's, if, it's something we don't have to address right now. It's just if we were gonna do that, we needed to do it soon, but.
Well, maybe
Before we
can-
get to election time, in other words,
Yes.
December.
So it would have to be something discussed by December.
I do agree, 6 seems like too many.
Right.
Yeah, we could
And
do,
there's a
split into 3, a western and an eastern ward, and then a city limit, 2 out of each zone or something. I think it'd be a lot more even.
Maybe we can look at that at the next board meeting and bring that map to where we can kind of see how we want to do that, for a recommendation to the commission. Because it is, there's a couple of those districts that are drawn so strange. And the whole county has changed so much from when those were drawn that we really have trouble, finding representation from some of those districts. So I think there's just a better way to do that. And, so why don't can we put that on the agenda for?
Yeah, and I'm actually meeting with the commission tomorrow,
And maybe they have a
so
suggestion
I can see
too.
what they say and what they
Right.
think about that. And, we can do the next meeting with that.
Because, there is that might be a good suggestion for the eastern part of town and the western part, and then see if there's a better way to do the rest of that county. Because the way it's drawn, now that one district winds around and goes clear up here
Is
and then
this your
comes.
district? It's like,
Yes, District 1 is drawn in such a strange way. And then one is
Ours are.
Yours are weird too, they're not the same
You
as
were just
ours.
saying, wouldn't it be nice
yours-
if they were the same?
Is yours 6?
It would just be simpler for everyone.
It would.
And the ambulance
Yeah.
district
Yeah, they're
is different
completely
than,
Right,
Well,
they
they're
all 3 have different.
I don't
Well, and then
know
there
what
were, the nursing home districts were different from that.
Yes,
Mhm.
very
The
confusing.
nursing home districts, the school board, they're just ridiculous.
The school board's just one, but
Right,
the ambulance
but-
district has,
But the nursing home districts and the hospital districts just aren't the same.
and
And,
you know how many the ambulance district has?
I can't remember. But when you look at that map, and one's in green on ours and one's in yellow, and they're not drawn the same at all, and it's so confusing. And you all may be running into the same
We
issue.
were just saying, wouldn't it be nice if they were the same
Yes,
for everyone?
it's really difficult.
And maybe they thought of it trying to draw, not,
It could be,
right, not have everyone from the
Mhm.
same area or 2 people from, just mix it up a little,
Mhm.
right?
but first off, that District 1 is huge and goes clear up to the county line up here and then goes clear down. It's really, doesn't make a lot of sense the way we're going, so maybe we can talk about all of that too and see if maybe the commissioners have a good idea for that too. It definitely needs to be looked at, I think. So, and maybe we can kind of talk about it again, but if we are gonna do something, it does need, and that's something for your all's board too, if we're going to do something, it has to be to them by December, so that it can go on the ballot. No, they
No,
just have,
yeah,
they
they-
just have to vote.
it would just be-
It doesn't have to be on the
It
ballot.
would just be that way
Commissioners
people can
decide.
run.
That's good to know.
Yes.
What if we would do it with the ambulance district and the, care centers not in the same district?
It would be nice, it sure would be a little less confusing, but the way they're drawn now is pretty confusing, I think. I can see what they do.
And the reason we would wanna move it, just so the election, if people wanted to
That's right,
file that, if the district.
so we would
changed,
know what
so.
districts they're filing for,
Mhm.
so we do need to get it straightened out quickly.
Okay,
So,
section
okay.
3.3, that paragraph needs deleted because, as far as I know, we aren't moving towards affiliation or management. That was probably something that was put in when that was the case, but right now we are not, so we need to delete that whole paragraph. And then section 3.4, just a small change at the end. Instead of the next annual election, it needs to be until the next annual municipal election. So a small change on 3.4. And then 6.4. We talked about the Quality and Safety Committee, but we need to delete Chief Medical Officer out of the section 6.4, as we no longer have a Chief Medical Officer, and replace it with Chief Operating Officer. Any questions on that? Moving to 8.1. And this is a change, this would be, for depositories and checks, the chief executive office, or the CEO, the COO, and the CFO would be authorized to draw upon accounts of the district. This does remove the board treasurer, so you guys need to discuss that. The attorneys suggested having a board member on the accounts increases the liability of the board of directors. So that would be having the CEO, the COO, and the CFO. And then the treasurer would be giving viewing access to the accounts, but they would not be signers. And we're switching from a 1-signer to a 2-signer system. And that's also added into that 8.1 section under Article 8. Any questions or comments for that? Section 10.1. We are, and you guys again, you don't have the crossed out version, so on section M, changing to evaluate patient care with assistance, we're deleting the CMO there again, as that position is no longer here, and then adding senior leadership in replace of CMO. Section 10.2, changing that to chief operating officer. And then that the district will employ COO.
It's not changed in this one.
Okay.
It's changed.
Are you guys okay with the wording in section 10.2?
I don't know that they've seen that except what's in the, tonight.
Okay.
It was sent out
The-
the other way.
The board, the statement before with the CMO was the board of directors shall select and employ a CMO. That's how it was stated before.
And it's changing to COO, and it will be appointed by you instead of the board.
Yeah. I think that covers all the bylaw changes that we have for now. Any questions on those? Any discussion by the board? Yeah.
If there's no
I guess, yeah, and we
discussion,
won't change the Article 3.2 right now until we discuss further on the district line, so we won't change that section to remove the districts. Right, so, otherwise the changes for the rest of the
Right.
sections there.
So other than section 3.2, we would entertain a motion to approve the others.
I move that we approve those changes.
Okay? Okay, so I have a motion from Nick and a second from Jesse to approve the changes in the bylaws with the exception of section 3.2. Could we do a roll call vote, please, Aaron?
Yes.
Travis?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Christine? Yes. Jesse?
Yeah.
All right. And Dr. Ruby, you want to talk to the sign
The
those?
bank resolution is just, a resolution that you will sign and the secretary will sign, just showing the changes on the bank signer cards to CEO, CFO, and COO. And we will go to the bank and change those signer cards again, so that's just a resolution that you'll sign. We don't need a motion, just need to. Is there any more discussion in open session that we need to discuss at this time? If not, then I would entertain a motion to go into closed session pursuant to Missouri Sunshine Law 610.021.
I move that we go out of open session into executive session pursuant to Missouri Sunshine Law 610.021.
And say the subsections. Nick, and the subsections.
And the subsections,
Yeah, say the numbers of the subsections.
1, 3, and 13.
Sorry.
Do I need to say all of them out?
Yeah.
Should have said it.
1, legal matters, 3, hiring, firing, and discipline of employees, and 13, individually identifiable personnel information.
I'm sorry, no, just the numbers, I'm
Just the
sorry.
numbers, we should have said.
Yeah,
1,
just the
3,
numbers.
and 13.
We'll get it, we'll
We'll
get it.
get it.
We'll get it.
Okay, I think we got that.
That was very good, very good.
And who was the second in all that?
The second was.
Christie, okay,
Christie.
thank you, Christie.
We'll add our number, we'll get it.
Oh, no, Mike was in there.
And then the vote.
Did they vote?
Yeah,
And our
and then,
vote, we need a roll call vote on that, please. Travis,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.